I want you to remember back to the time when you first watched The History of Trunks. Now I bet you asked yourself at some point, why was Future Gohan so weak? And if you did, leave a comment down below to let me know. Just to recap, in the future timeline, all of the Dragon team were killed by the androids, except Gohan and Trunks. And Goku was killed by the heart virus. Future Gohan was training and fighting the androids for 13 years, yet he still couldn't beat them. This sounds hard to believe, but there are actually heaps of reasons why Future Gohan was this weak. In the future timeline, Goku suddenly died of the heart virus, and all his knowledge of ki control, the Super Saiyan power, and techniques vanished without a trace. This meant Future Gohan couldn't get all of his father's knowledge before the androids suddenly appeared. In the post-Namek peace era, Gohan pursued his schooling and he didn't train much for the 3 years after Goku defeated Mecha Frieza, so he would have been much weaker than present Gohan at that point. Once the Dragon team were annihilated, Future Gohan trained constantly over the following 13 years, but he didn't ever get down to true training. When I talk about true training, I mean the training methods he used were inferior, but it was all he could do. In Dragon Ball, it's all about the quality of the training rather than the time spent. For starters, he had to train alone, which isn't nearly as effective as having a sparring partner. Think of the enormous progress present Goku and Gohan made together, and also remember back to Frieza and Tagoma. On top of training alone, Future Gohan had no way of accessing increased gravity to build his strength. Kami was dead, so there was no room of spirit and time, and Capsule Corp was destroyed. So Future Gohan couldn't train intensely as he needed to keep watch for the androids. Imagine the fear of not being able to sense them. Thirdly, Future Gohan was somewhat inexperienced due to his young age. He was mostly hard carried and hadn't learned how to get stronger himself like his father. The level of progress would have been far smaller than what you'd expect from Gohan with his huge potential. This doesn't mean Gohan wasn't gifted. He was. He has more potential than Goku and Vegeta, but there was no one to guide him and mentor him, and also there was no gravity training. Just think where Goku and Vegeta would be without all of these hacks like gravity training, senzu beans. They'd be finished. And Goku would never have reached the heights he has today without his mentors. In the Room of Spirit and Time, present Goku didn't just train Gohan to master Super Saiyan, but to go beyond it as well. But Future Gohan still proved his huge potential because he gained a lot of power despite his limitations. Gohan transformed into Super Saiyan because of Piccolo and Krillin being killed. You see, here's the thing, Future Gohan never thought of surpassing Super Saiyan. He thought that was the limit of his power. But what's the proof for that? It's that time in the present continuity when Future Trunks was really surprised. Super Saiyan Grade 2 was obviously more than enough to handle the androids, and maybe Future Gohan did think of it, but if he ever tried increasing his Super Saiyan power, he would have been found by the androids. In the manga, Gohan actually aspired to be Goku's strength before he died. So Gohan only wanted the power of post-Yardrat Goku. He wouldn't have realized his father was still weaker than the androids. But by the end of the 13 years, Future Gohan's power was likely somewhere between Super Saiyan Vegeta against Android 18 and Super Namekian Piccolo, because Android 16 stated Piccolo had the same strength as 17. It's hard to tell though, because in his final fight, Future Gohan battled both androids at full strength. There's evidence the future timeline androids actually equaled the present ones. Future Trunks said the present androids were stronger, but he never witnessed Future 17 tell Gohan that he wasn't using even half his power. Yes, Gohan could hold his own versus 17, but when it came to their final battle, 17 revealed his true power and Gohan was shocked, and then killed. 3 years later, when Future Trunks fought the androids, they were just toying with him, so he never witnessed their true power either. The TV special did make Gohan look stronger, as he could take on both the androids at once in one of the battles, but once again, this was before the androids decided to get serious. Future Trunks once stated the Senzu plant had died. This is a hard to explain truth, as it's unlikely Korin was ever found by the androids. You know Korin. However, it provides another clue why Future Gohan was so weak. Gohan likely carried nagging injuries which never healed properly. Gohan never had much time for recovery, as his life was built on fighting the androids whenever they attacked the city. His training was disrupted by this too. He felt he couldn't stand by when innocents were being killed, even when he knew he could die by fighting the androids. Despite becoming gradually stronger through training, the pattern of fighting, getting his ass kicked, and not healing his injuries properly could have led his body to become weaker. This likely offset the results of his training. For example, he could have lost speed and agility through pain-stricken limbs. Imagine if Goku and Vegeta didn't have the Senzu hack. They would have struggled so bad against the villains in Dragon Ball. With only a few Senzu left, Gohan could only use them for when he was seriously injured, and as we saw in the anime, he selflessly chose to give Trunks the last one. When Future Gohan gave Trunks the last Senzu, he consciously traded any hope he had of getting his left arm back. Gohan lost his arm when Android 18 let off a massive blast in the area where injured Gohan and Trunks were hiding. He woke up hours later to find out his left arm had been lost. Without his left arm, his fighting style had to be completely changed, and after this, he wasn't the same. Without the Dragon Balls existing anymore because Piccolo died, any wishes for getting his arm back weren't possible either. Future Gohan put a lot of hope in Future Trunks as the one to eventually defeat the androids. In the final few years of his life, Gohan trained him to have the power to transform, and he kept telling him about all the pain and suffering caused by the androids. Gohan was trying to trigger Trunks' transformation like his own. I feel that Gohan though should have been more patient. He should have waited for Trunks to achieve Super Saiyan and then trained for more years before facing the androids again. Instead, Gohan didn't, and kept fighting them on his own after only 1 year. Due to his inexperience, he didn't know of the benefits of having a sparring partner because he'd never tried it. If both of the warriors had trained together for years, they could have even surpassed Super Saiyan and then beat the androids. It would have taken a lot longer though, because they didn't have the room of spirit and time. So these are the reasons why I feel Future Gohan was so weak in the future timeline. Definitely let me know which thoughts you agree with and disagree with as well, and also let others know down in the comment section below your own reasons. Thanks guys for watching, and if you enjoyed it, please Kaioshin that like button and subscribe to expand your knowledge of Dragon Ball and get coverage of Super. So I'll see you in the next video, but until then, I challenge you to watch the following videos of mine. Alright? Cheers guys. Kai Kai.